Hey, you guys, how'd you like my picture of my lovely little croc that I shared as my image, my screen cap image for the beginning of the film? Oh, filming, I should say. That little guy was named Angelina Jolie. I took that on one of the river estuary video things I went on here, one of the tours. We have friends and family come. We will do the touristy things. We'll go to touristy places. And one of the touristy places we went was near Jaco. There's a bridge in Torcoles, I think it is. Torcoles, yes, it goes over the river Torcoles. And it's a pretty big river. In Costa Rica, hey, small town Joel, we have all our rivers open into the sea, obviously. That's something we're doing a series of paintings of. And I think that I'm going to start filming some of my art processes, how I get to places in my art, because I was thinking about that the other day. Most of the time when I'm painting, I sometimes use weird things to get weird textures. That's my big thing. I always say my style is more like Van Gogh's. I tend to play with the texture of the paint. I try to convey movement and how I'm not mixing and I'm painting right onto the canvas. Are you excited to be going on a trip? Yes, well, I am mostly done. I just have to call and pay my credit card in a few minutes. But I'm mostly done with everything except packing. I'm doing a little laundry. I'm going to talk about best things to pack. Oh, yeah, paint. I started out painting. I started painting in oils when I was about 12 years old. My parents got me art lessons. Hey, Aaron. My parents paid for art lessons when I was 12 to start learning how to paint, and I've always painted. Now, there are times where I paint less. I painted less here. I want to get back in the habit of doing it like daily, like I used to do, especially now that I have the time to do it. I mean, really, here, all we absolutely have to do is get up in the morning, can do whatever we want. Good afternoon. Under the weather today, resting and get to watch a ginger feel better. I know what that's like. I'm having a good day today, which is essential if I'm traveling tomorrow. Yeah, I got a couple things to talk about with traveling. My essentials when I travel. The last time I did not bring my essentials. This time I am. My most essential thing of all time, my neck pillow. I bought this stupid thing at Buc-ee's, and I know I overpaid, but really, if you can put a beaver around your neck, a buck-toothed beaver that looks like he's suffering from some kind of mental condition, this makes everybody laugh. Every time I'm on a plane, I pull that thing out, I put him on, and there he goes. I've said that this is the best investment you can make if you travel. It's a fleece blanket that I got for $2.50 at Walmart years and years ago. The fleece is almost worn out on this one, so I may be taking my other fleece blanket that I just bought. It's not as pretty. Not as pretty at all. Small tail jewel, I wish I were so. There are a lot of things I'm not good at. I'm not good at balancing my checkbook. I'm not good at remembering things. I have a girlfriend here that wants me to bring her back some kind of grain. I've written it down 3 times, and I just finally had to tell her, it's like, look, I'll look for it. Let me write myself a second note. Because she, 2 bags. I had a couple places. And she wants a whole grain thing that is not, you can't get here. Not even in Costco. So I'm going to have to do that. But I don't remember all that stuff. There are things I do horrible. I hate house cleaning. I'm not necessarily the best at it. I have to force myself to do it. And the second we get back, I have to clean out the cabina because we've got a friend coming back from Canada who's going to be moving our cabina. I hope for just a few weeks. He's rather creepy. I'm just going to call so it is. Here's my other essential, travel essential. It's my little Rosarum bag that I was given, 15 years ago when I was working at a clinic. And you get all kinds of fun things from the drug reps. I usually keep a thing of Sleepy Time tea to help you relax. I have my Rosarum linen spray. This is not 15 years old. I've refreshed all of the stuff several times. My earplugs. And the most essential of all sleep and travel aids, my mask. I have to have those things. It's just easier to keep my little Rosarum bag full at all times. That goes with me when I travel. Here's my new favorite thing I'm madly in love with. It worked out well. It's one of those silly I don't label. Organ saved my biscuits several times on this last trip. So this time I'm bringing everything I need. I'm bringing my blanket. I'm not wrapping it around bottles of Goro in the suitcase. I'm just bringing all that and my clothes. And I've started packing already. I'm mostly packed. I have to wash the sheets on the bed and remake the bed and just do whatever we do with our regular everyday dishes. And we're pretty much done. We're pretty much packed. Packed and stacked. So that is how you do it. Yeah. So that's how you do it when you travel a lot. I've talked about this before. When you travel a lot, and I learned this when I was traveling for work, you keep a packed bag of toiletry items in the little teeny tiny sizes. And you just throw that in the bottom of your suitcase whenever you have to fly, and there it is. You don't have to worry about, did I pack a toothbrush or toothpaste? You don't have to worry about it. It's right there. It's like, I'm ready. And I refill that stupid thing every time I get back from my trips. No, small town jewel. I adore my husband. He's awesome at so many things, like balancing checkbooks and some of the things I'm not so good at. And there are some things that we both are not good at. I love him to death, but he used to make me insane when we traveled because I'm organized. I pack my bag ahead of time. I pack my carry-on ahead of time. I make sure I have plenty of time because when you fly internationally, they require you to be at the airport 3 hours in advance. The bad part of that means that when we come back, we have to go to the airport at 2 a.m. What's a small price to pay? He waits until 20 minutes before we're leaving for the airport. He throws everything in his bag, doesn't fold anything, just smushes it in. And I'm looking away going, oh God, oh God, oh God, you're making me so anxious because I can't do that. I flip out. I flip out if I have to do that stuff. Oh my goodness, I can't do that. But he can, and I just leave him to it. Back in my quiverful days, I used to do it for him. Before that, I would let him do his own thing, and it would stress me out. Now I'm at the point where I'm kind of like, you want to pack your bags to the last second, go for it. Just don't involve me because I will lose my mind. Yeah, that's a hard one, Small Town Joe, because he really is that kind of disorganized. My father used to call my husband the nutty professor, to give you some kind of idea. Intellectual, so smart, brilliant in so many things, but he didn't have a lot of real life common sense. There's times when I've had to stop him and say, hey, don't do that, and this is why. Like one time he was weed eating on the far side of the pool, and I grabbed the extension cord just as he was dragging it over the pool to jump in the water. I was like, oh my God, you're just about to fry yourself and you didn't even know it. Hey, Prairie. So you didn't even know, and he tried to electrocute himself. So that's one of those crazy things, tales we tell. My father loved to tell a tale of how my husband, he built our deck. My husband went to the hardware store and said, show me your finest hammer. I don't have a hammer. So he bought the hammer that was recommended, like $9 or $10, not extremely expensive, but still. My father picked on him hard because he went with him somewhere else to make a wood or something, and they had a dollar bin with hammers in it. My father bought a $1 hammer and said, here, Jim, here's a gift from me to you. Because my father always, he could do woodworking, all that stuff so well. My father cooked very well, but he had his own issues. He didn't handle his relationship with the opposite sex very well. Make sure to stick your extra suitcase in his before he throws everything in it. Yeah, and that's the other thing that's essential here. You've got to double your suitcases. We do that here. We also have ours marked with the world's tackiest stickers. I have stuff like mermaids, smoke, seaweed. And here's the reason you got to double pack and have an empty suitcase for everything. Let's show you something. These are my leggings that I wore here. And I had to keep wearing them and repairing them. You see that? It's like running stockings now. I've worn them so much here. And during COVID, I couldn't replace a damn bit of clothing. And the clothing made here is not very good either. So, and if you wear anything above a medium, you're out of luck. I just don't have much. So my ancient leggings, I still haven't thrown them out because I'm going to cut them up and use the fabric for something else. Well, anyway, ancient leggings. And that's the thing that you have to do when you're here. You have to make do sometimes, some of the things. Particularly if you wear a little bit larger of a size and you're not going to be able to get it in Costa Rica where everybody's the size of a pencil. Most everybody's the size of a pencil. I can't say everybody is. So there's that. I'm doing my leggings thing for baby showers. Yeah, I usually make one of those fleece blankets with the fringe around the edges. Oh yeah, those are really nice. I ended up buying that second blanket because this one was wrapped around something one of my kids gave me that was breakable. So I had this in my suitcase wrapped around stuff. And so I had to buy one when I got to the Charlotte airport for a 5-hour layover. I was freezing. So there's that. Maybe you suggest mermaids are tacky. Just kidding. Mermaids are not tacky. They smoke seaweed. And I have a Frida Calico sticker on there that says, F it, I'm going to Costa Rica. I've just got a crazy amount of stickers on there. Because we bought our suitcases here, our big ones, our big ones, at the Auto Mercado when they had a special on these Kenneth Cole suitcases. The problem is everybody else here in Guanacaste bought the same suitcases. So the first time we flew back with them, we were one of about 15 suitcases. I had put my luggage tag on, which is bright turquoise, on mine, and my husband did nothing. Well, we got to Atlanta to go through customs before you throw your bags back and they throw them on the plane, and somebody picked up my suitcase, turquoise tag or not. And so my suitcase was missing when I got to Atlanta. I was freaking out. But whoever picked it up and ran it through customs didn't realize they picked up the wrong suitcase. And there was an abandoned suitcase that was identical to mine. So I tacky mine up with stickers now. Everywhere I go, particularly business, I'm like, hey, you got stickers? If they have stickers, I'll buy them or bum them off them and put them all over my case. And they fall off on a regular basis. I'm saving up for a set of new luggage. I want the Van Gogh ones, the Van Gogh Samsonites, the hard shells that last forever, that have paintings of Van Gogh's almond tree painting. It's printed on it. So I really want those. Those are the ones I'm saving up for. Hey, mermaid. Mermaids are not tacky. I love mermaids. Mermaid, it has to be. When I first moved here, I had suitcases. I had soft side suitcases that were turquoise with gold lame trim that match my freaking carry-on bag. You see, turquoise and the gold vinyl. And I thought for sure that would be good enough. But what happened was when one of TSA searching my cases broke the zipper on the big one. And I only have the tiny one now and this one. So I was really sad about that. I loved those suitcases. They didn't hold up well. They did not hold up well to traveling. I bought them at Belk. And they weren't super cheap. I'm just going to say that. I'd have been better off buying a black cheap one from Walmart to be destroyed. So now I try not to get emotionally attached to my suitcases. And I'm going back to the Samsonite hard shells as soon as I can put a little money aside for that. But you almost have to mark your luggage or have something super bright that nobody will pick up, because There's too many times that people do not check the tags and just grab the bag. And my black bag had a turquoise thing on it, and it still got taken. But it did end up at the other end because whoever picked it up and carried it through customs and gave it to the people, put back on me, knowing it wasn't his suitcase. So there is that. There is that. So I'm very careful about that now. It was gorgeous, Erin. I was styling and profiling when I came here. I had on my favorite dress. It was turquoise. I had my 7-piece turquoise luggage set. It was, yeah. And things did not go well. Things went a little haywire with that trip. And my suitcases, the turquoise ones, were marred with smeared black. They were smeared with some kind of grease. And I was pretty surprised, to say the least. So I'm not making that mistake again. I'm not doing soft-sided fabric luggage, because before COVID, we had traveled a lot. We planned on traveling a lot. Since they've lifted the travel restrictions, I've been back twice to the States. We've been to other places. And once COVID is 100% over, then you'll see me going to Peru and these other places. I want to see the Mayan ruins. There's so many things I want to see that I haven't done yet. Small Town Jewel, I know they're rough with luggage. And it was kind of funny. The last time I flew, I'm sitting on the plane, I'm watching them loaded. I watched both my suitcases go on there. I watched the luggage guys looking at my different little stickers and laughing. They thought that was pretty funny. And so there it is. Now I'm a little irked with my husband this morning because of all very stupid things. He's a really nice guy, doesn't know how to say no. And I'm trying to work with him to say no sometimes. He met some people at church on Sunday, and I don't go with him anymore because rates are really super high here. And I told him, I said, the rates have to come down a lot before I'll go back to church because nobody wears a mask there, even though it's mandated. Nobody wears a mask. So he met these people that were raising money for Nicaragua, for the villages there. And there's such desperate poverty in Nicaragua, I don't even know what to tell you. Right now, I've seen people selling priceless family antiques for pennies on the dollar, all sorts of things just to feed their families. So they're trying to raise money for that. Somehow they roped my husband in. So right now he's at a meeting with them because he didn't know how to say no. He's gotten hosed a few times by people telling him, I need a ride to church. And then I can't ride with so-and-so. You can't pick up so-and-so. He's been a taxi's gone back and forth 2 or 3 times. Small Town Jewel, yeah, it does. I would like to know when the luggage does that, what they're doing. So he can't say no. A good example of that is a friend of his from where he worked at, the Department of Labor, was trying to organize a get-together with Jim and everybody who's retired since, and everybody else in the DC area. And he contacted me and said, we're going to have a picnic at your daughter's house. And I'm like, what? Because, now put that dead remote. I got to go change it out. Because it's kind of rude to invite yourself over. And to invite everybody else over was even ruder. And I know my daughter well enough to know she's going to say, during COVID, really? That's not happening. Which is exactly the response I got when I said, he wants to do this. And I don't think it's a good idea. And this is why. So we were supposed to be going to a get together in the park because I switched to a park at that point. I said, here are your options for the parks. I just need to make a reservation, or my daughter does. Let me know. Well, as soon as I said that, he said, well, let's switch it to a restaurant. And then he made up like 4 different get-togethers. And I'm like, what? No, I'm only doing one, if that. And then my other daughter ran away from the hurricane with the clothes on her back and very little, and is here with my granddaughter, with my other daughter. And I said something to Jim's friend and said, well, I might, if we all get together in the park or at a restaurant, I'll probably need to bring my eldest daughter and her daughter with us. He went nuts and said, no, none of these 4 things. And it's kind of like, I just sent him a message a few minutes ago where I said, My husband had told him 2 only, not 4. One, he said 1 preferably. So he's got 2 now. And one of them scheduled on a day when I'm going to see my best friend in this entire world, 2 hours away from DC. So it's going to be a crazy day that day. But here's the thing. I finally sent him a message today because he's just been crazy over the top. I think he was making these plans and saying, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. He doesn't understand. We're going back to the States to see family. That is primarily, I don't even have to buy that many things. I've ordered the few things I need and they're shipped to my daughter's house. They're there now. So he wants to have this huge get together and have a bunch of huge get togethers. And I finally had to email him and say, I have had a thalamic stroke. I'm in recovery from that. I am not going to all these things. I may not go to any of them because of that. And number 2, I am primarily here because my eldest and her ties by what happened to them during Hurricane Ida. I need to be with my family. This is a moment for family that has nothing to do with your stupid little plans. I haven't heard back yet. He'll probably freak out, but oh well. What's going on in DC on Saturday, small town? I don't have anything planned. I think they're planning, I think they're going to have a restaurant meeting, but I think they're going to do that in Maryland. So what are they doing in DC this week? What's the protest going to be? I know there's protests there all the time and problems. I don't want to be anywhere near DC. We try to skirt around it. I don't go very often. When I lived there, I would only go, just like here, like I only go here to tourist things when I have family with me, like the time I went to Jaco and to Torcoles with them. And I got to see the lovely alligators. And I got to see Angelina Jolie, this picture on my live stream, where the tour guide kissed her right on the mouth before giving her a whole frozen chicken. I was like, because you're not supposed to feed the wildlife here. A big protest rally to call on charges for the January 6th. Ooh. I wonder if my future son-in-law and my son are going to that. I'll have to ask. Oh, no. They're not going to that. They're not going to have the charges dropped. I think they were as freaked out as I was when that happened. That just happened in DC. I don't know how they did that. Every time that I have gone into DC and gone on Capitol Hill, and I have done that a few times, more than a few times, and gone and sat and watched them in the galleries. You have to go through so much security. It just blows my mind that anybody was able to break into there. I can't get over that. I'm kind of like, how did that happen? All the same ones who were there. Oh my God, I bet it's going to be awful. Thank God none of us work there. I take that back. My daughter does, but she doesn't work on Saturdays. So there is that. There is that. I don't know what is going to happen with these people. I know you're upset your guy didn't win, but every 4 years we vote and the people's will is shown. You know, I'm not always enthralled by people that get elected on both sides. Let me just say that. I'm not taking a side in this thing except to say he won, get over it. That's what you told us when Trump won. I'm just going to say that. So I don't believe in that conspiracy theory that they're pushing. Proud Boys planning another rally. Oh God! Weekday. They're supposed to be installing fencing, but if they want in, they will find a way in just like before. Exactly, small town Jewel. I'm actually kind of perturbed by some of the things I've seen since I've been here in Costa Rica because I watched the Charlottesville rally. We lived in Culpeper County when we lived in Virginia, which is a ways out of DC, but my husband commuted every day. I used to go down to Charlottesville frequently. I used to go down to the downtown mall where they had that protest and to the university. I'd go to the university every year and pick up supplies to make Ukrainian Easter eggs, which I may explain and show how to do here without the right supplies, because there are ways around it if you cannot get the right supplies. You can't order the little kiskas, because I had to throw away all that crap. or give it away or sell it when I left. All my art supplies, my stained glass supplies. The only things I kept were some of my paints and some of my fabric for making quilts. I kept nothing else. So all of that is gone with the wind and not coming back. So I'm happy about that, that I can get these supplies and I can figure out ways around and I can be creative here. That's what I'm working on right now. I'm probably going to do a lot more art things and weird stuff. I want to talk about the supernatural and people's experiences. I want to talk again about UFOs and various things. My husband's from El Salvador and his mother is from Nicaragua. We wanted to do our honeymoon the first week, visiting his family there, and then the next week. Okay. Nicaragua, I would not go to right now. 4 years ago we went and it was sort of safe. Not now. In the last 3 years, there's been all kinds of violence down there, and they don't move much like Americans. El Salvador, I have not been to. I've heard both good and bad. You have to understand, in Central America, you have so many desperately poor people. Even here, they're desperately poor people. And you have to, if you're blessed by God to have enough, then it really behooves you to help. Since the pandemic started, we've been huge supporters of the food bank here, the Las Playas Food Bank, because there's so much rampant poverty here. The best you can do is feed people. I'm a big believer in feeding people. And sometimes we'll donate to the soup kitchen in Santa Cruz. There's a big one there that they do all that sort of thing in. But I haven't been to El Salvador yet. Maybe one of these days I'll make it there. So who knows? So something came up just as I was getting ready to do this. And let me say before I get to that, I'm going to put up a poll on my Yahoo, YouTube, and list some very weird topics that I want to know if anybody's interested in, because I haven't talked about them much. I'm dying to talk about them, particularly the supernatural. I've had crazy experiences throughout my life with the supernatural, and I really, 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 really want to do a stream on that. Maybe a series of streams, who knows? But I'm going to do the art thing. Small Tanjula, I went there too. It is a very scary place. Parts of Africa are very scary. Like I said, at the time I had my hair done like Cher's, where I had the red and purple streaks through it. And it wasn't all gray like it is now. So some guy offered the pastor so many goats for me and my magical hair. That was kind of funny. Hopefully they have enough police and guards in place this time. I hope so. I pray so. So I wasn't even going to talk about this today, but something popped up as I was getting ready to do a live stream. And one of my dear friends on Facebook, who was just posting in here just a few minutes ago, and my brain is so gone because I took my drugs. I took my drugs for the day, and I'm goofy. So it's a good thing I got everything pretty much done except for a few little things. The judge ordered that the child witnesses be given guardian ad litems, their names, images, and testimony be protected. Now, I know somebody's saying that does not apply to his own children.